Good afternoon from London. This is Dr. Dermot Hudson, Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea and Chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK. I'm also a member of the New Communist Party and the International Ukraine Anti-Fascist Solidarity. I'm very pleased to be here for Points News to give my opinions on the recent horrendous act of banning of a Communist Party of Bohemia and Moravia in the Czech Republic. And first of all, I'd like to say that I strongly denounce the banning of the Communist Party of Bohemia and Moravia. I think it is a truly diabolical action by the Czech authorities, which signifies a move towards capitalist totalitarianism or liberal totalitarianism. I see it within a wider context of increasing authoritarianism, censorship, repression, and creeping fascism in the capitalist countries. I find it particularly shocking because Czechoslovakia was once a socialist country ruled by a communist party who led the people of Czechoslovakia to make many important achievements in improving living standards and guaranteeing full employment. And all this was destroyed after there was a counter-revolution in Czechoslovakia in 1989. And now it seems that the capitalist rulers of Czechoslovakia, or sorry, I should say the Czech Republic, want to totally obliterate any trace of the Communist Party, any trace of the history of Czechoslovakia. And of course, this is not only happening in the Czech Republic. Poland is like a semi-fascist state which has banned the Communist Party, which has arrested communists, as has Ukraine. And also the Baltic states of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Now, I should also mention South Korea, which is held up by the mainstream media as a liberal human rights paradise, also bans communist parties and has a national security law under which people can be jailed for 7 years for supporting communism or supporting the neighbouring Democratic People's Republic of Korea. In the UK, we've also seen the banning of a militant Palestinian solidarity group on charges of alleged terrorism, but in reality all they did was put a bit of red paint on an RAF aircraft. But anyway, to return to the main subject, I think the Czech authorities have done this horrendous action because they are afraid of the past of Czechoslovakia as a socialist country, and they fear the alternative that the Communist Party presents to the present corrupt and decaying system. And I think all over the world there are these sort of authoritarian tendencies to try and ban communist parties. because capitalism has proved incapable of solving problems. When I became interested in politics over 50 years ago, there were problems like inflation, like unemployment, like bad housing, poverty, inequality, homelessness. And these are still with us 50 years later. They've not gone. The capitalist system cannot solve these problems. So they are resorting to repression. Once upon a time, when I was young, reactionaries, if you confronted them with information about failings of capitalism and about the injustices of capitalism, they would simply say, oh, go back to Russia, go back to North Korea, go back to China, and so on. But now it's taken a more sinister turn, that they're resorting to repression because they're unable to answer the critique of the capitalist system. It's as simple as that. And there is an alarming new wave of anti-communism. In some ways, it is not too dissimilar from the original McCarthyite anti-communism that existed in the US in the 1950s, but it's sort of taking on a new toxicity, a new vehemence, a new severity, and the trend is to wipe out communist ideas completely, almost as if they never existed in the first place. And this is what is going on in countries like the Czech Republic, like in Poland, like in the Baltic states, like in Ukraine, and a number of other places. And it is worrying because it could spread to other countries. It is seeking to totally delegitimize, to deny any legitimacy to communism. And it's something that we must stop, we must protest against. I hope that a new anti-fascist movement opposing these new forms of fascism, because fascism has mutated and taken on different forms. We've got creeping fascism, we've got liberal fascism. We need a powerful movement that will oppose them and will campaign for genuine free speech and liberty. Thank you very much.